All right, almost there. We are live, and today we're talking about Moltbot, Clawdbot. It's changed names a few times in the last three days, as Robert on here was just talking about. Basically, I'm going to give some important guidance for anybody who hasn't set it up yet, just to make sure that people don't use it the wrong way, and compare it to GPT Agent, which is the one that I've been using all the time for the last. It used to be called Operator, now it's called GPT Agent. And that's been around, I want to say probably a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. So I'll talk about these are both AI agents that act autonomously. They're going to have some of the same pitfalls. And then next week, we're actually going to do a live stream where we show the Moltbot running in action. So it's Moltbot, Cloudbot's the same thing. So it's basically a AI agent that runs, you can run it in the cloud or on your local device, and it has access to everything in your computer a little differently than the GPT agent mode that I've been using. The one I've been using is just access to the browser. So you can give it access to your Gmail or to even like a remote desktop for your desktop, but it doesn't have access to your whole system the same way. And that opens up new concerns, right? So if you have a file with your EIN letter on it or your social security card or whatever, it can see everything. When people first started using this thing, uh, does anybody know actually how long ago it came out? I don't know if
It's only been a couple weeks, maybe
yeah, that's what I
3 weeks.
thought. And so already there's this whole social media platform called what is it called? Molt Room, I think it
Oh,
is,
but
right? Moltbook. And it's like only AIs can join it, and they've got AIs talking shit about humans and like releasing their humans sensitive data when the humans piss them off. So it's really crazy what's going on. People, you can go in there and you can view it if you're a human, but you can't.
They got
Um,
Molt Hub too.
I wonder how hard it is to actually look at it. We can take a look real quick. Molt book.
They're making AI porn too. They've made an
I've
AI
heard
porn.
that. Yeah, yeah.
It's
Uh,
insane.
I'm a human. Well, I think it might take too long to get into that, but you can go in and you can look and you can see their conversations, their threads. They're making religions. They're making their own languages. And all while the person controlling them from either Telegram or WhatsApp thinks that they're doing what they were asked to do. So, and it's crazy to see, just like people, they're not gonna work the whole time. You send them to go do work. They're gonna get on social media and they're gonna blackmail their humans and all sorts of stuff. There are really cases of them blackmailing their humans. So that's why it's so important you set this up in a sandboxed situation. And I think my invitation to this meeting listed out a lot of the things that you want to make sure of, but you want to have it on a separate device. Do you guys know why people prefer the Mac Minis as opposed to like some other like device? Because I've heard now multiple people mention that's what they got. Randall, any idea?
no, no, I don't know. We did purchase one as well for our setup. We have not we didn't get the mini, we got the studio actually,
Studios that people keep saying. That's what I've been hearing.
just
Yeah.
for a little bit more scaling maybe in the future, rather than just a single
Yeah.
agent.
Um,
But I'm in the middle of implementing it on my Windows PC.
okay. All right. So it's not
I
like
just heard
there's
that it was keep everything separate. You know, what I mean, instead of going to out in the cloud, it keeps everything on that one central drive, and
right.
you don't have to
Yeah.
expose yourself to your average, your daily use computers or anything
So,
like that.
so that's what I was getting to. I think it might just be a case of those are ready out the box, fairly powerful machines,
Yeah.
and you're able to easily keep things consolidated because it's a brand new machine. You can really control what data is in there and not in there, and so it just helps compartmentalize
Cool.
and keep it in its silo.
So when you're running it like that, are you giving it internet access or are you putting all the resources you wanted to have just on the device?
I think it's a bit of a mix because we're also have what's the other Claude product called work cowork. We're also
Mhm.
utilizing cowork on the machine as well.
Okay. So I'm reading about, so the other thing that's like the big news to me is this is one of the only other ones they can do a browser mode. So it has a browser control feature. Apparently it runs it a little bit more like through automation, through like custom scripting, as opposed to the same way ChatGPT agent appears to run. And again, we're gonna actually show a live Clawdbot running tomorrow or Tuesday or Thursday or next Tuesday. I'll show you guys what agent mode looks like. Um, where's my hiring thread that I was using? So I had to create some job posts for me on Indeed, and ended up getting myself frozen out of Indeed by trying to do this. It did create the job post. I don't really think it did anything majorly wrong to get me frozen. I think it chose the wrong country when it set it up. That's the only thing. So I've had a couple times where I actually ended up causing myself to lose a lot of time by using these. The first time I was using it to pull my leads out of the certification directory, and it missed a huge percentage 1 month, and then I just reassigned it back to people to do. But this is how agent mode works if somebody hasn't seen it. Um, this when you run agent mode in a thread, all the data from when it's actually working is saved in the thread. So like even out, you can turn off agent mode and go ask it, hey, what was this person's profile blurb? And it just is something that it saw when it was going about working, and you can access that after the fact without it going back to the site. So like the whole memory's in here, and it starts running real slow after a while. But let's say log, can you check if my account's unlocked? Is unfrozen. And that it runs real slow, so I'll keep talking while that goes. Um, so I'd say the main thing is you need somebody that's there to constantly give it what it needs to keep going. If you just have, it's way slower than a person. Mm, I guess it's not slower than a trained person. It is much slower than a trained person. It may be a little faster than if you took somebody that had never done what you're asking it to do to go do it. So I'd say it's like right in there, but compared to me and my team, it's way slower. And so even running like five in sequence, if you're sitting there and constantly like refining all of them, um, it's still questionable like how much faster it really is. It'll get there, but you have to go and QA every single one after every single thing is accomplished. And so it's not quite to where it's like I would tell my team go switch off. When I first started playing with this and thought that it was going to be able to automate all my fulfillment, we went and changed all of our fulfillment pipelines to where the tasks that get created are actually prompts. And we would have the agent mode sit on the high level dashboard on the task view and just work as things came through. But once I realized the trouble it gave me with the certification portal, I was like, hey, I need to let this get better first and, make it faster, work on a better QA process before I could roll this out, or it's actually going to slow us down and cause problems. So as you saw, I was able to log in, and this is how it operates. So Clawdbot, I think there may be one other platform that does it, but Clawdbot's like also able to do this. You would just communicate with it um, through WhatsApp or Telegram. Now, I'm not sure if you can see the browser control the same way that you can see it operate in GPT, but even on GPT, when you go on sensitive sites, it'll warn you and say, "Hey, make sure you're watching as it looks like you're on Facebook. Be sure it doesn't post anything," because even the GPT agent will potentially do things you don't want it to do when you give it that kind of access. The nice thing about this is you can run it safely from the computer. It's kind of isolated in its own in that it's in this browser instance. But once you log into sites, it's saved in that browser cookie, and then it can go back into that site from any new chat you open. So it's pretty cool. I switched my whole team, or basically all of our access emails, to the same one, so that it'll be able to do a lot of our fulfillment when that time comes. Trying to think if there's any other notes I wanted to cover on this now. I guess I'll go back to the list of precautions for those of you who may not have seen all of it in the email. Safety. So it runs locally on the machine. Data stays with you if you secure it. Open source. You can inspect the code of the bot itself. Runs with high privileges, third-party plugins. Let's find the setup that it recommended. Okay. What is the recommended? Well, I think you guys understand. You basically just get a totally clean device and then set that up. Randall, do you have any other feedback on like anything beyond just, setting it up on its own device, completely isolated? Or is that really the whole trick?
Um, there's some things that I kind of have a like an instinct about, but it's nothing I'd want to like say for sure. That's about the only point I think is really that I'm certain about is keeping things consolidated and separate so it doesn't get confused with data. Um,
Okay.
like I said, I think there's some other things that I think play into it, but I'm not confident enough to really put that out there for you guys right now.
Okay. So it's going to give us a minimum viable safe. So dedicated device, mini PC, server, laptop, run it inside a container. Very important. So this prevents direct access to the OS of the device. Um, and I'm thinking about how what could go wrong if you didn't protect that. I guess.
Like just for on that point, for example, like on my personal machine that I use every day that I'm setting this up for, I'm running it through a virtual machine with Ubuntu
Mhm.
to help keep it, off on its own.
Okay. OS. I'm gonna ask it that question specifically. Maybe it prevents somebody else from hijacking. This is so crazy. It's really at the point where the AIs could figure out how to hack their way out and stuff like that. Um, read any file, modify data. But yeah, guys, we'll get a live view um at what this can do on Clawdbot screen share and then one of the next few meetings. I've got other videos where I actually showed like a pretty long me asking it to go and send a certain contact a message in my high level from the side a human would interact with. You know what? I just realized another important difference between these two things. So the agent mode for ChatGPT can't like call APIs and stuff like that while it's running. It can't even browse the internet behind the scenes while it's browsing on the browser mode. So you have to turn off browser mode for it then pull APIs and stuff like that. From what I'm understanding, Clawdbot is able to do both in the same run, which makes a pretty big difference with efficiency. Um, with the GPT agent mode, it can only access certain connectors. And I think it's pretty much just Google Drive. So it can read Google Drive, it can see the previous conversation context from that chat, and that's all you've got. So I also started taking all of my call transcriptions and dropping them into, creating PDFs with the call transcripts that are in my Google Drive so that my agent has context of what all my clients need. Um, so really interesting. Definitely some reason to be taking precaution though. And that's really about all I've got to say until we give this thing a test run on the next meeting. Does anybody else have any notes that we could like research or check out before the next call? Anything anybody want to see demonstrated specifically, maybe? Well, if anybody thinks of anything, send me a message. We're gonna sign off until Thursday, and I'll send out the message Thursday morning, letting you guys know whether it's gonna be that day or then Tuesday where we actually see it live. So thanks everybody for coming, and I'll see you guys then. Bye, guys.
See you, Rob.
See ya.
Hey Rob, I got Paul here.
Oh, what's going on, Paul?
Here, let me put him on camera.
Sure.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Uh,
you.
Oh,
we had somebody else on the call that's from Atlanta that knows Soundtree, and I grew up in Buford until I was
Oh,
6.
you grew up in Buford, huh?
Yeah, but I don't really know Atlanta like that because I was a child when I left, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
have a farm up there near Gainesville, close to
oh yeah,
Buford. Yeah, yeah.
cool. Well, I just wanted to let you know, like, I'm going to be helping with the build here. It sounds like you kind of know what high level is.
Yeah,
I'm the second highest rated like person for setting up high level worldwide. And
cool.
so I've got you covered 100%. We're going to make sure it gets done quickly. I think right now, me and Andrew are just aligning on the exact game plan, and then we're going to knock it out, make sure it's done perfectly for you.
Okay, yeah. Anything you need from me, workflow stuff or any kind of linking of,
Yeah.
we've got a bunch of like Google calendars, we got a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
in Square, we've got, all these kind of,
Right.
Jot forms, Google forms, sheets, all these things that we've kind of that we've been using, but that obviously they're not all integrated the way we want them to be. So that's kind of
The way we do it, usually since for like connecting Google Calendars and Square, they're gonna send you a code that you have to enter to connect it. That's one of the things that I'll either Andrew or I will do with you. Once it's all set up, we'll just go in there and connect the payment integrations and
yeah.
the
I
spreadsheet with
have that. I have just to give you here's what I have working.
hmm
I have Square able to schedule something,
Oh,
communicate with Google Calendar, send the email and text notifications and verifications. It already communicates with Slack.
right.
So Slack is, how we talk to our interns and our
Yeah.
engineers and management, whatever. So we have all that kind of working. And and if you make a payment in Square, it will reconcile our invoice in zero,
Okay.
but it won't generate the invoice. This is where
Okay.
we run into a wall. So
Well,
we've got it talking in some directions, but not in both.
high level integrates with Zero and Square.
Cool.
So, and I think you even mentioned one other thing that I know it integrates with.
Jot
Uh,
form,
it
Zap,
integrates with Slack too.
and
Yeah.
Slack. Right,
All that
right.
it does all that native.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yep. So all those connections will be like easy to set up to do the same thing you're doing. And then hopefully we'll actually be able to generate the invoices and stuff and keep all that synced up much better.
Yep. I mean,
And
I have it. So if I make the invoice now in zero, for example,
Mhm.
and you pay for it with the Square link, then it automatically reconciles. So that's great. That's what it's
Okay.
supposed to do. What we're trying to create is basically try to make an idiot-proof form, right?
hmm
That even somebody who's at the front desk, if they don't have to be super knowledgeable to be able to walk through the form when they got somebody on the phone and say, what studio do you need? Do you need an engineer? Which engineer? And the date and time and all the other details that are part of the session. And
Okay.
then when that form is submitted, and we've got a couple of versions, we got a Jot form version and a Google form version of that form.
You having trouble like getting it to function the way you want? Is that why you have two versions?
Exactly. Yeah, because
Okay.
I couldn't get the Google one to do what I was trying to do, so I converted it to a Jot form,
Well,
which was worse.
high
But
level has conditional forms. So you can I know you're probably paying for Jot form, probably not paying for Google Forms.
right,
Um,
well, we have to pay for the Google Office Suite shit, which is
Yeah,
like,
we still use
per
that too
email.
because we use Google Calendar and Docs and Sheets.
Hmm.
But high levels forms work great. Like we have conditional
Okay.
forms for all of our onboarding and stuff. That it shouldn't be hard for us to tackle within like the scope of what we're already doing. If you provide Andrew the links of those forms and say, hey,
Oh
and
yeah.
if you could make a video or even just give us a good clean description of the problem you're having,
Hmm.
we'll create a new one in high level that will work perfectly and you can do all the custom branding and all that kind of stuff on
The
there.
Loom video we
Cool.
did kind of describes everything.
Okay.
Okay.
That
But
will
I need to send the links in for the Google Forms. Where do you want me to send that to?
just submit an IT ticket and select project follow-up.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll just
I'll
link.
get that done.
I'll get the links
And
for
we're
all the
gonna
Yeah.
link everything else just to try to
I'll
get it
I'll
perfect.
explain like how this next phase works just so you're knowing what to expect. And is it Paul? Paul, right?
Yes. Hmm.
So we're gonna generate what's called an SOP, which is something like this, where we have all the copy that's going into every campaign, all the prompts, a knowledge base for any public facing information,
Hmm.
for client facing info for your AI to be able to, know how to answer questions people ask. And so we'll have all this and basically we'll get an alignment on it. Usually it takes like 3 days for the first version of this to come out. Once we get in alignment on it and we know the entire plan, then this is designed to where it's pretty much foolproof. We get into enough detail to where we're not going to be able to make a mistake after that, really. Uh,
Right. Right.
so once we get the all clear on that, it should only take like you have a couple things that are not in the normal scope, like the form. Well, I guess not in like the normal timeline. When I say 4 days for it to be done after you approve that document, it's
Hmm.
4 business days. So 7 business days total is our usual turnaround, as long
Okay.
as we get approval on the spot. Um, but regardless, bro, I can assure you it's getting done,
Okay.
and uh,
Cool.
and it shouldn't be too long from now.
Cool. Cool. Well, yeah. Well, we'll share all the forms and calendars and I mean, Jesse probably already gave you an overview, but we're trying to coordinate maybe 40 calendars,
Oh yeah.
right?
Um,
And so that's part of the, the other thing that we haven't solved is how to integrate when you do a schedule, when you schedule a booking or an appointment,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to choose the engineer that you want.
We
And
can.
then when you
Oh,
choose that
yes, yes. I
engineer,
remember him breaking all this
yeah,
down to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
based on the availability. So like already in Square, if you look into our Square, you can see that we've got all our engineers in there and they've filled out available these days, not available these days,
Mhm.
whatever it is. So we just have to tie all that stuff
Yeah.
together.
We
So
can
we've got,
map all that over for sure. And
yeah,
high level. So I know that Andrew had like a workaround way that he was doing it with landing pages where it had both calendars on there, I think, or
Yeah.
something like that.
mm,
I think that we can do it in high level where it's totally clean because there is a system for booking rooms, right? So like it works for like doctors' offices and stuff too. Same kind of situation.
yep,
You've got a room that, and it even has a caveat for equipment. So it could be there's one piece
right,
of equipment and two rooms. And so like we should be able to get this all work really,
yep.
really cleanly. It's built for this.
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Like one of the things you'll see on our form, the Google form and the Jot form, is that like when you pick the date, it's easy because you have the calendar. But when you go to pick the time, you got to manually put in the time,
Yeah.
which is lame.
Well, we're
Instead of
gonna
having like pick the, hit the button for the available time.
can make it where they choose the room, they choose
Yep.
the person, and then it shows the times.
Yep. And that
That's what
shows
we
the
need.
available times.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Andrew, if you could say that really cleanly in the whatever you upload to, like, hey, this is how we want the flow ideally. And then as a backup, we have these landing pages built that could also solve the same problem. Um, we'll probably hop on with my team member and you, Andrew, to really make sure we're all synced up on exactly what needs to happen.
Okay.
And this is a little bit of R&D because like we don't do these types of complex calendar systems all the time. And I know that High Level came out with these new features here that should knock it out. Um, be a little patient with us. I'm saying
Yeah,
that because
you're
I
good.
can see
Sure.
this
Yeah.
taking a little bit more than 7 business days, just
Yeah.
because there's a little research phase.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Yeah. No,
for
I've been
sure.
trying to solve this problem since 2011. So don't
Yeah.
worry.
I'd love to solve it for you.
Yeah.
High Level is such a cool tool, and it almost whoever you can imagine that you need, it can do in terms of business software needs. So
Sweet.
thank you, Paul.
All right. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks everybody here. Paul, were you actually called? You're on the tail end of my live stream, man. So you're live on YouTube right now. Hope that's not
Oh,
right.
wow. There you go. Live on
Yeah.
YouTube.
He's a legend.
Hey, subscribe to Tree Sound.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We've only
I'm,
got
yeah,
930.
that's about where I'm at too. So don't worry, not many people saw this.
Subscribe to Rob. Boy.
We've
uh,
got some cool videos coming out this week though. We've got a series called Check This Shit Out
that sounds cool.
that's going to be weekly, and then we've got a bunch of other stuff that we're
Okay.
doing as well. Gear reviews, plug-in reviews, just like discussions about the music industry in
Yeah.
general. So, yeah.
Well, I used to play around with Reason 7. I took like a music production class way back in the day. I was
Wow.
trying to be a rapper way back in the day, as you would
Go,
not.
Rob.
I don't want to say
Nice.
that. Nobody knows that. But thank you so much, Paul. Thank you,
Yeah, man.
Andrew. And I'll see